You're listening to Season 5 of That's Life, the comedy podcast designed with your laughter in mind. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
That's life.
And
We're back. Oh,
right.
oh
Right,
yeah.
We're coming to you live and direct via a dual state.
Oh yeah.
Another dual state episode in the sweaty area of Philadelphia and the Illvilliest of the Millvillians.
Oh yes. It doesn't get much better than that.
That is correct. Oh, no, it does, because we are both pantsless.
That's true.
That's
as
right.
it really is the only way to broadcast.
That's right. When comedy takes it off, shit's about to get crazy. But yes, it's episode 115. And we got all sorts of exciting stuff for you this evening or day or morning or whatever the hell.
Whatever happens, or whatever time it happens to be, wherever you are listening to this amazingly amazing podcast.
That's
yes.
right.
Whoops.
We got a brand new
stuff.
Uh-oh, what happened? What'd you do?
Oh, nothing. I'm fine. I just turned number lock off.
Oh.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Oh, all of your numbers are free to wander in and out of any portion of the keyboard they want.
No, that's ridiculous.
It's like any of the Jurassic Parks, where they're we've got the dinosaurs confined. Oh, come on.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, I didn't really read it. I just read the headline because that was funny enough. There's a Taiwanese gay porn parody of Jurassic World.
Wow, talk about a niche market.
Oh yeah. It's pretty awesome though.
Well,
just the fact that exists.
Yeah,
is great.
You don't have to pull the Tupperware lid off of that. Where just knowing that is there somewhere is good enough for me.
Yep.
But we've got a new segment here, new special called 50 States of Gay.
Which I can't wait for because the internet does make me laugh. So.
Oh, it's the best. And of course we have our mixed media review. And our what we always like to kick off our podcast with our what's new in the sweaty world of Pater.
Oh yeah. Hold on a second.
All right, I'm holding. Are you checking your Pete report?
Nope. I think I broke something. Well, not.
Oh my God! What did you break?
Not an important thing.
Oh. Okay.
What the hell is going on? Sorry, I'm having computer issues.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Great idea, Pete. Let's do that.
That would be much funnier than listening to me click things and go, hold on, I'll be able to think in a moment.
No, that's not it. And then when you finally discover what's wrong, you go, we're in. Because you have to say that when there's computers and drama on the line. So, what's new in the world of Carl? I'm lifting weights and working out again, which is great. Regularly. I got back into it after my back stopped hurting.
That's a good thing.
Which was nice. And I had been breaking up my workouts, say, okay, we're going to work chest and triceps today, shoulders and biceps we'll do 2 or 3 days later. And then I'm like, this is intensely inefficient. Because, I'm not. I haven't. What do you call a plateau where you don't actually go up anywhere? Oh, it's a flat plane.
Definitely, yes. That would be a plane.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good because it's healthy to do it, even if you're not like turned into a muscle man. It's just good to do, especially as you get over 30, or in my case, God help me, over 40. You want to. Your body needs to know you still need bones and muscles and things. Because it'll say, oh, you don't need that shit? Cool. Well, we're going to stop keeping that shit up then. That's cool. That's fine. Because, we're just going to be efficient about this.
Clearly.
So, you want to stay. I mean, I stay active on the job, but I'm just like, look, I need something that I know is always going to be positive. And that's, for me, is working out.
Well, that's good.
I've never, gone and gone to the gym and then afterwards go, boy, I regret that decision. That was so irresponsible. No, it's never happened. I've always been like, yes, I did something right this week. But I'm like, all right, this is inefficient. So I decided, let me try something new. I'm going to do my chest, triceps, shoulders, and biceps, and abs now. I do abs every time I go there.
Nice.
Because
I got to keep the core up. Yeah.
yeah, it's and you don't realize how much you use your core for, like
Kind of everything, really.
Yeah, it's a huge fucking sheet of muscle for fuck's sake. And I never used to like abs because it was always, do push-ups. I'm like, push-ups are so stupid. I hate them. Oh, they got all kinds of awesome, they got like 50 different fucking workout machines there just for your abs. So,
Oh, that's pretty handy.
Oh, yeah. So, I can play around. And I found like one or two of them that I really enjoy. So, if you enjoy something that's good for you, oh, dude.
That's even better. Yeah, that's like, it's like a thing that I'm sure there's an analogy there somewhere.
It's like
you guys can figure it out.
A great recipe.
Chat?
A great
I
recipe
guess?
for your vegetables. You're like,
I
now
guess.
you're gonna eat your vegetables because they're healthy, but they're fucking delicious, all covered in
Butter sauce
cheese
of-
and
yeah,
bacon.
buttery
Nom,
butterness.
nom, nom, nom. So I decided to cram them all into one night, and I did that for the first week, and I was like, okay, that was actually pretty good, and I was feeling pretty decent about it. I recovered in I was good by the third day, so I did it again. And so this week I got all hype, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
As Bill Witt would say.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to do
R.I.P.
this shit, baby. Going to do this shit, baby boy. Yeah. So I did it Monday, and then I went back in Wednesday, and for the most part, I had to drop my weight down a tiny bit for the ab stuff of all things. But everything else, dude, I was straight. So I'm going to go
Nice.
back in Friday, probably 4 in the fucking morning when I get done work. But fuck it, I'm going to do it.
But
Because-
fuck it.
Because, as much
why
as-
not?
As much as I love fucking playing video games and watching YouTube shit and then masturbating and going to sleep, it's hard to say, let's do that instead of going to the gym. That's better for you. I can't make that argument, Pete. I can.
That's
It's hard.
That's true.
Especially since I can do all that shit after the gym anyway, so I really have no goddamn excuse. But, so I hit the gym up, and I swear to God, dude, after 2 weeks of just combining, I switched up machines to machines that just seemed to focus more on just the muscles that I wanted to work on, like not free weights, but going to the machines that just really isolate that muscle
That are
group.
designed to
Yes.
work out those things.
So when I do my chest and triceps, and when I can do one of my chest routines, and simultaneously, I can do a shoulder routine.
Oh, nice.
So it saves me even more time, and it keeps me moving, keeps the blood pumping, you're hitting yourself after you're all warmed up. I do abs, I warm up, I do abs, and then the blood's pumping. It's time to get in because you want the blood to be pumping in the muscles because you want to be able to work out as much of the muscle as possible so that you get the most bang for your buck.
Exactly.
So, I'm actually starting to see some returns. The chest is popping up, which is fucking.
Oh, nice.
I actually have. I tried 2 new chest things and a tricep / chest machine, which is almost impossible to describe. But it's fucking cool as shit. Some kind of tricep press extension machine thingy. But
Cool.
But I angled the chair in such a way that it kind of works the bottom part and the sides of my pecs as well, which is kind of cool. So I'm feeling all pumped up and positive about that shit. Work is intensely hot. 'Cause
Yes.
It's that time of year again. Big change. Starting off this week, I took the girls out to see Pixels, which we'll talk about in the mixed media.
Yep, I'm actually interested to hear about that, considering it's got some, at a glance, it's got some good things, but on the other hand, it's got some bad things.
Yeah, that describes it best. Same thing with the Terminator Genesis, honestly. There was some good and some appallingly bad. Which, you know what? If something is completely bad, it's somehow more excusable, but it's inexcusable when they can hit some of the fucking notes.
Yeah.
But you're like, why wouldn't you just damn you?
It's like clearly you know the tune, but you done fucked it up.
But But so I went and I already picked up everything of mine from the ex-wife's house and got it here, put it in the shed. All that wonderfulness is done. I don't remember if I talked about it last episode, but the shed is done.
Well, I know you built the shed. I think that happened last time, but I don't
good.
remember.
It was hellish.
I don't remember if it was full of anything. I just remember it
not
being
that
the Hell Demon shed.
It's full of everything. Pete and I are playing again musically, which is awesome. We played 2 little party things.
Yeah, that was a blast.
One little kind of private party thing, which was a surprise, because I'm over here and I'm playing for our listeners. I'm playing 2 games of 2 different games at the same time. Because I'm just like, okay, do that, and I'm watching some thing on fucking the stock market or some shit, and then the phone's like, I'm getting text and
beep, boop, beep.
And it's Danielle Awesome. She's like, oh, you got to come over, and I'm like, no, she doesn't say that first. Says, oh my God, Pete's here and we're having a concert. I'm like, super. I'm like, Danielle's drinking. That's what my first thought is. Danielle's drinking.
Yeah.
So,
which
she was, but that's neither here nor there. And she's like, yeah, Pete's having a concert. I'm like, cool. And I'm thinking maybe you're coming over and just like jamming out with some of your solo stuff's going on. And I'm like, well, that's cool. But she hasn't invited me over yet. And I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I'm going to come over. You know what I mean? I feel maybe you guys are just hanging out and killing time for you to go do something else. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, well, are you coming over or what? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm invited. She goes, yes. I was like, well, you didn't invite me. She goes, Carl, get the hell over here. I'm like, okay, see, I'm on my way. I got to put pants on. Again, I'm pantsless. And,
right. I mean, because, chilling at home, you might as well.
Fuck it. No, I want to put clothes on so I can be uncomfortable, please. So,
yeah,
because
that makes sense.
Throw some clothes on, and I'm thinking, should I bring an acoustic guitar or something? I'm like, how is this happening? When I get over there, you had the
magic.
Magic
fucking
happens.
Magic.
You had all the Resmen stuff queued up and ready to rock, and a guitar amp, and you're rocking out. And I was like, didn't have a mic or anything because I didn't know what the fuck's going on. So I'm just like singing without effects or a mic or anything. But it was a blast. And we're drinking, getting our drunk on.
Like,
yes. Hey, I didn't realize it'd be this easy. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty well into it by that point.
I'm like, Pete, why don't we just do this again? And you're like, yeah, why don't we just do this again? I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah. So we got all hype. You got drunk and passed out.
Yep.
We got you inside, and I got.
It happened. It was a long day for me.
And then Becca missed
it because she had to work.
She was working. And she's like, oh, why don't I missed the concert. We're like, well, we'll have one just for you. And she's like, yay! Because people who are in bands get real excited about that sort of thing. Because I suppose it is pretty exciting to have a band come over and play just for you.
Yeah, that's true.
And she liked her stuff, from before. So it was cool. It was nice. And so
yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I was looking for an old guitar amp that I could sing through, and the place where I'm staying at was my friend's grandfather, and he was big into guitars and stuff. And he had a PA that worked with like reverb and delay and effects on it and shit like that. And I tried it out, so I brought all that stuff over, and we actually jammed out and did like all of our songs, some of them a couple times.
Yep.
And it totally just worked. I was like, woo! So, ladies and gentlemen, Resmen is continuing. I've spent the end of last week, this weekend, and this week cranking out some fresh lyrics. I have enough for a couple songs. So
cool.
I'll be listening to some of Pete's stuff that he's got there already, some new stuff, and finding, that alchemy, that musical creative alchemy will happen, which I can't describe. It's like crossing the event horizon of a black hole where no one can say what happens.
Pretty much, yeah. That's definitely one of those things that if you understand it, then you get what we're saying, and if that's not your bag, then just wait for the finished product.
Yes. But it's really happening, and I'm really pumped up about it. So that's like that's my plan. Possibly later this evening, definitely this weekend. I'm going to start cracking into that, and
cool.
Just getting it out because I'm in the right. I had to get to the right stage in my emotional processing of what I've
business
been
of
through
things,
the past year and a half, what have you.
Yeah.
To be able to kind of access it without having it completely explode like a nuclear bomb and eradicate me. It's the difference between a nuclear explosion and a nuclear reactor,
Right.
if you will. An internal combustion engine and then just blowing yourself up and seeing how far you travel that way. So I think I'm at that point. So there should be some really cool lyrics, and what I pass off as vocals, with some really cool music that Pete's got going. And I'm excited to hear like pseudo dubsteppy with fucking evil guitars and some fucking meaningful lyrics and vocals. I'm pumped up about this.
Yep. Oh yeah, because and we'll definitely have to get together on it and do the whole creative process from start to finish together too, because that'll help a lot. Because that helps me work too. If I have somebody else there just going like it, hate it, like it, hate it, like it, hate it.
More of this, less of that. That's a verse. That's a chorus.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be kind of doing like an autopsy on your songs, if you will.
Worlds of helpful for me.
Not an autopsy, a dissection, if you will. I'll say, okay, this feels like a chorus to me.
Yeah, because and that helps with like the arranging of everything too.
Yeah.
It's nice because if you got your lyricist, singer person there to go, okay, I could do this here and that there and that in the other place. Just a couple more of these, few less of those. Do that again.
Yeah, can everything drop out here, sort of thing. So I'm going to kind of have to do that as I'm finding the groove and the song sort of strikes a tone in me, and then it sort of melds together. So what I'm going to do is try to shoot you, hey, all right, I'll give you like time codes, like from 45 seconds to 1 minute and 10 seconds. That part there should be this for that song. You know what I mean? And then you can do what it is you do in the interim. But anyway, yeah, so I go to drop off the girls, and Ross was there helping because, the garage is all empty. My oldest, she's big into dance and everything, wants to turn it into like a dance studio thing because, she does the professional dancing thing.
Makes sense.
And I didn't realize I had 50,000 televisions, and 40,000 old monitors and computer towers, but apparently I did. And I said, okay, I'll take the old big screen that's in there because the other ones wouldn't fit in her car and everything. And evidently, you can't just throw them in the trash like you used to 1,000 years ago.
No, there's like all kinds of rules about shit now, which is
gay. But so I was like, all right, okay, I'll take this, and we put it into the back. And she's like, well, since you're taking this to the Millville Parks and not recreation, but whatever.
That's where my head went with that too. So yeah.
Can you take the other ones? I'm like, okay. So it gets loaded up. So I ended up driving away with, you see my truck. It's a decent-sized truck. The entire back of it completely full with stuff on top of that, all televisions and computer monitors, and it had to be roped down.
Wow. That's a lot.
So I'm like, great, I got a chore. This is
terrific. Good job.
But, I of course, I'm like making it funny and stuff like that,
Well, naturally, you kind of have to.
Cracking jokes like, great, it's doing chores for your ex-wife. It's like doing chores for your wife, but there's no promise of withholding sex later.
Right.
Just stuff like that. And I'm going off and off because that's what when I get mildly irritated, and then I get irritated because I'm irritated and it doesn't feel good, I attack it with comedy. I kick it on its side, and I mock it until it's no longer pissing me off, and it's funny again. That's how you survive life, by the way. And that's what we do at This Life.
Pretty much.
So I had him laughing
so hard. Good advice.
I had him laughing so hard, he said, you got to stop, my kidney's fucking hurt. So I'm like, yes, nailed it.
Excuse me.
Some of it was proprietary to my previous post-domestic situation, so I don't want to get into it on the podcast, but suffice to say he was laughing his dick off. So I get there, and I'm telling him, I'm like, I know they're going to fucking charge me like $10 a TV, these cocksuckers.
At least.
Yeah, so he's like, no, it's free, you just show up. So I pull up, And there's like a trailer there where I guess all the employees are just sitting in because there's an air conditioner and it's about 10 million degrees. This is Monday.
Sounds yeah.
It's like 1:30 in the oven. I mean afternoon. And so I pull up and I'm trying to unload all this heavy ass shit that everyone helped me put on there. And they all come out of the fucking thing just to stand there and they watch me in a sullen silence. And it's dead quiet. Like even the birds are like, fuck this. We're going to go like somewhere. We're going to go underwater with the fish until the sun thing blows over. So, I mean, it is dead quiet. I only have my truck on because it's so hot. I don't want it, I have no way to dump the heat it's producing. So
right.
They're just staring at me and there's just the sound of cicadas, which are hell's insects anyway.
Right. Also true. Yeah, they're the ones that let you know that it's too hot to do anything.
Yeah, and there's no. Yeah, they're like nature's air raid sirens.
Yeah.
The sun is bombing you with radiation. Dig a hole and stay there. So I'm there just feeling shit sizzle off my flesh, and I'm unloading all this shit. Then another sort of older couple pull up and they're waiting, and they're all just sitting there staring at me while I'm trying to unload these things. So I realize it's very uncomfortable. So I do what I do best. I just start singing. And so what do? I start singing like Lounge Lizard versions of my favorite metal songs.
Nice.
Which is great. Like when you're singing Slayer's Skeletons of Society, or yeah, you could be mine. Do 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 do, you could be mine. Do do do, dragging the stuff with a cigar in my mouth. With your bitch slap rapping and your cocaine tongue, you get crash, nothing done. Oh, I said you. Yes, you, baby. And I point at one of the grotesquely overweight women on the porch. You could be mine. And the elderly couple left, but the other ones just sat there staring at me, Pete. I'm like, I was like, whoa, cold room, huh?
Yeah.
I grab the next thing. And, so I get it all unloaded, and I'm like, all right, great. And I'm just waiting for any minute for them to give me a bill or something. And I go, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, because I get to the end, and the older couples start clapping and applauding. I go,
nice.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tip your waitress. Thank all of you there. I hope whatever is ailing you, I don't know what it is, mumps, or you've got Lyme disease, but I hope you get over it, get some 5-hour energy. See you all in the Sunworks. Cooler. Bye. And I get in my truck and drive away. And so that's the end of my What's New.
Awesome.
Peter, what's new with you? What's going on with Pete?
Well, lots of work in the sweatbox, like we do. Huh? What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I thought you cut out, but it turns out it wasn't the case.
No, I just paused to inhale some of this delicious Middleton Tobacco's Black and Mild cigar. Wooden tip, of course, for your smoking pleasure.
Naturally. Yeah. Well, I mean, our What's News kind of crossover with the whole concert thing, which was a random happenstance that turned out for the best, I think.
It was so cool. It's like I was expecting it would just be like Becca and Danielle, but like all these people started showing up and rocking out to us. I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty rad. But let me think. Before I get to the exciting stuff, if there's any like mundane nonsense that's worthy of talking about.
Like working out or dropping off TVs.
Let's see. Not really. I mean, just kind of like being between work, just streaming as much as possible. Here and there, picking up random ass followers because I pretty much only stream late at night anymore. Well, ever, just because that's the only time work allows a second shifters.
During the day?
No, nobody's awake during the day. That's gross. The sun is out. We've been over that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Scary and frightening. Although you'd think being inside watching your computer would be the place to be at that point.
Well, no, they're sleeping because they're up all night listening to streaming.
Ah, yes. There you go. That sounds right.
You're streaming while everyone else is dreaming. Ladies and gentlemen, put it together for Peter Brad. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Which is a great segue because so I've been talking to this chick who I met on the internet a while. I'm pretty sure I mentioned her on the show before.
Awesome. And hopefully one day, Pete, we'll have her popping on. That will be great fun.
Yeah, that'll with a little bit more. Like if we start this project earlier, but
what do you mean 3 o'clock in the morning? Is not early enough
for some people, you know. I mean,
no, it completely makes sense.
Crazy. But actually, things are going pretty well, and she came over last Saturday.
Woo!
I think it was last Saturday, because I've been one of the games I've been streaming is this older Vampire the Masquerade PC game.
Oh wow!
Which became available on Steam, and then the modding community got a hold of it and produced an HD texture pack so you can actually play it on modern systems without it looking like ass.
That's cool.
But I didn't realize it was kind of a niche game, or at least there's a certain generation that missed it. So a lot of people, like I've been getting random people like jumping in going, oh shit, somebody's playing this game. That's fucking awesome. So like people have been playing it. And then Melissa got really into it and watching the story and all that kind of stuff. So at one point she's like, man, I'd really like to come over sometime and like be on stream with you and watch you play and all that kind of stuff. I was like, all right, cool. So we set it up for this past Saturday, and she came over, and we were on, I don't even know how long. Like, I think we streamed for like 6 hours, but it definitely didn't feel like that. Because, you know, it is actually, what was really funny is the first time we were actually meeting in person, too. Because we've been talking for a while, getting to know each other, kind of doing it right, you know, taking things slow, not rushing into anything.
Let it grow organically, man.
That's which is nice. And then, yeah, she was there. She was over. It just sucked because I had planned to get together at like earlier in the day, but work happened because work just was like,
That's
oh,
how it goes.
You've dodged all these Saturdays, but now you have a girl coming over. Yeah, here, have some hours. You look like you could use those.
Yep.
It's like, thanks, work, you bastards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a really good night. She had fun and found the place okay, which because she's a little more, well, she's a little more anxious of a person than I am, which is to say she gets nervous about things. I'm like, whatever. But I didn't realize how far away she lived until she sent me the map, not the Google map thing of her route, and she's like, is this best way? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Because she lives up in the suburbs north of Philly.
Oh.
So it's not like,
not in the
like geographically she doesn't really live that far away, but because the roads are funky, it takes a little bit longer than you'd expect. So she got here and, you know, and hung out, and it was fun, and we walked her down to her car because it was getting late, and I was falling asleep like a nerd because I was just like, yeah, I've been up. Because it's like work till 1 in the morning, stay up till 3 or so in the morning, then have to turn right back around to go back to work for 11 a.m., and you know how us second shifters love that.
Oh, yeah.
And then work more in the heat, and then have to be like entertaining and stuff. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, you're like your first physical encounter. You're like, all right, come on, body, don't fail me now. No, really, body, don't fail me now.
Yeah, so it got to be like 2 in the morning, and I'm kind of losing consciousness, and I was like, all right, I'm like, I can't be entertaining to anybody right now. So thanks. You know, I was just doing that whole sort of like, she was just like, should I go? Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Just text me when you get home or something. Make sure you're safe. She's like, you're going to be awake that long? I was like, don't worry. I'll like do some jumping jacks or something. I'll make sure I'm up to get that. Just walking to the car and stuff, and it was that amazingly like awkward type of saying goodnight kind of moment.
Yes.
Like it happens, but
yes.
Oh yeah, totally got the first kiss move going on.
Woo!
It's like, yeah, I'll take that as a win.
That is awesome. Go Pete, go.
Oh yeah, and she was real happy about it. Like, so it was definitely a good encounter all around.
Dude, I'm so happy for you right now. It's ridiculous. I want to do something, Jack.
So like, and of course after that, I was just like, yeah, I don't need to. I'm not even tired anymore.
Yeah, really. You're walking around your room, la 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 la, happiness. That is awesome, dude. Yes.
Things are definitely going pretty well,
yes. And I was talking to Danielle about this. I'm like, oh, she's this chick, and Pete's really into her, and I hope things work out because you know he seems like he's really into her, and she seems like perfect for him, and he's perfect for her. I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if just once the world didn't take a giant shit on decent people. Wouldn't that be great? And you had that perfect moment. Woo!
Yeah.
Pumped up for you, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome. So like, and then now like, and we've still been talking. It's just coordinating everybody's schedules is still ridiculously difficult, but it's,
but the kiss happened, so things are just
yeah,
going to
so
continue
things are
at their
good,
pace.
going in a very positive direction,
Yes.
and like chats have like our conversations have started to take a slightly here and there like slightly more serious turn about certain things like relationshipy type of things, like shit that's kind of good to know about somebody before you get any further serious with them. But in that way that we do, where it's still kind of ridiculous and over the top and a lot of fun. But what's great is that she has the same messed up sense of humor that we do.
Boom. I can't wait to have her on the show. This is going to be exciting.
So a lot of times she gets to the "that's what she said" joke before I do.
Nice.
I'm just like, all right, I see what you did there. Well played.
Oh, well, that is super
Good job.
awesome good news, Pete. Pete?
Yes, and that's...
I thought you disappeared. I was like, Pete, who's there with you, Pete? Pete, I know this is going to be hard, but you have to let them take you. Whoever you are, Pete just got a kiss from this awesome chick. I will find you, and I will kill you. I have a skill set, which isn't exactly applicable, but I'm going to find you and kill you and stuff, even though it's hot. That was Carl's Taken comedy routine. Thank you, ladies and
Nice.
gentlemen.
Very well done.
No, it wasn't, but at least it's over. So, speaking of things that are terribly done, but at least they're over, and some things are actually awesome, shall we jump into our mixed media review?
That sounds like a great idea.
Woohoo! Whether it's movies, TV shows, video games, or books, we have the half-assed commentary you crave. It's Mixed Media Review. That's right. Our Mixed Media Review, where we watch it, we listen to it, we play it, we read it, maybe even jerk off to it, and then we tell you all about
all the gory details.
all the sweaty details. Not sweaty because it's torrid, sweaty because
it's just hotter than shit.
Yes. Okay, so I saw some movies, as I
Nice.
alluded to, and I finally watched something
watched
on
a
Netflix.
show.
Now, this one's been out for a little bit, but Terminator Genesis. Yeah. Now,
where do we start?
Start by making more smoke.
By making that go.
Carl, you should have done this on the break. I did, but I just decided to begin.
We just needed to have more. More needed to happen.
Yes, so Terminator Genesis.
Yes.
In case any of you didn't know, it's a 2015 American sci-fi action film. Alan Taylor directed it. It was written by two people whom you don't know, and well, hopefully it'll stop writing. Or maybe this is their first attempt and it'll get better. Yeah, that's right. Be positive. The fifth installment in the Terminator franchise. The film stars, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jason Clarke playing Kyle Reese, Emilia Clarke, no relation.
Right.
She plays Khaleesi in
Game of Thrones.
And she does a great job in that, by the way. She's perfect for it. She's exactly as I imagined her in the book. And that's pretty rare to do. And the plot is it starts off, it's in the future. It's the end of the war. Like they're having the big battles and shit.
Oh yeah, like many a Terminator movie starts.
But so they send Kyle Reese back, because we know that's going to happen. That's not a shocking surprise. And he comes back, and for some reason there's a T-1000 there to greet him, trying to kill him. And Sarah Connor, played by Khaleesi, shows up. I'm just going to call her Khaleesi because that's how we all know her.
Right, because that's kind of who we know her as. Makes sense.
And she shows up, and she's all badass instead of a helpless waitress. It's like, get in. You've all seen it in the trailer.
That's in the trailer, yep.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything that isn't already spoiled by the movie. And so obviously things have changed some. And it turns out Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is there and raised her to be a badass. And so now it's like, whoa, things have changed. The timeline's changed. Things I liked about this movie.
Yes.
I liked the future stuff. That was kind of cool. Oh, yeah, and Matt Smith's in it.
Oh, nice.
And you know the way I kind of forgot about him till the end and just casually mentioned him? Yeah, that's about how much he's in the film.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, so that was kind of a letdown. But let's talk about the good first, because I'm going to change around my movie cuntiness and start with the good. The movie had an ending, and the movie didn't go beyond the ending, and it was over, and I could walk away. That was good. The rest, terrible. No, the future.
The future.
The future parts were really cool. I wish the whole fucking thing took place in the future, was directed that way and written that way, because it was kind of cool. Unfortunately, that's the first 15 to 20 minutes of the film. And when he goes back in time to the 80s, actually kind of cool. It kind of had sort of... they definitely captured the look of the 80s.
Nice.
They captured... even in the film, and the lighting and stuff was very 80s looking. But it was done in kind of a subtle way. I don't know if you've ever watched Fringe, but there were...
no, but I've heard good things.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Just binge watch The Fringe. Because, dude, it's
Binge
totally...
on the check.
Once you've watched the first episode, you're going to have to watch all of them because you'll like it that much. It's fucking
nice.
Great acting, great writing. I've gone off about that on several times, on several other episodes. But, well, they had an episode where they showed during the 80s what one of the characters did. And not only did they make it, you know, technically the technology was very 80s, the cars were 80s, that sort of thing, but even like the look of the film and the lighting, just subtle things, but really put you in that time period, which is something that they can do now uniquely because, you know, like in the 80s, they couldn't do that about the 40s, really, because they're, you know what I mean? You couldn't really do that necessarily. Now you can because the technology in the 80s is such that you can still watch it in a movie and it's interesting. So they did that well, and the special effects were good, and that's where the good part ends. Arnold
that's
was
unfortunate.
Arnold was. I thought Arnold's character of the T-800,
Yeah.
the original Terminator, was good. A lot of people said, "Oh, more smoke." Oh, I don't like that. It looks old. But the way they put it into the movie was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was wondering how they figured that out.
Yeah, he got there in like the 50s or some shit, and had been around that whole time.
Oh, okay.
And was sort of staying on the periphery. Skynet had sent another mission back to kill Sarah Connor when she was a child. He thwarted that. Her parents died, picked her up, and then raised her kind of like it. That was actually, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It explains why he's older. And it does so in a way that actually...
isn't completely retarded.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily rebooting the series the way they just took Star Trek and just wiped their ass with everything that was Star Trek and said,
right.
we're redoing it, which is fine. What they did was cool. It's just when you compared it to what Star Trek was before, it's a different animal completely. It's more like it was rebranded almost.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a reimagining than it is anything else.
But this sort of fit into the whole Terminator mythos.
Well, yeah, because once you start doing time travel like Terminator does, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Things get a little crazy. But I thought it was clever the way they did that. I kind of like that. When he met up with himself in the alternate timeline when he first arrived in the 80s, that was really cool. I thought that was cool as shit. After that, when they built their own time machine, it wasn't steampunkish,
right?
But it was enough that it sort of matched the 80s kind of. So that was kind of neat. Once they got into I think they jumped ahead to 2017.
Oops.
That's where things got just stupid, and the stupidity multiplied exponentially until it was just beyond stupid, and it was just so stupid I couldn't even accept it as just action porn. Like I would.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Fast and Furious 7, they make no effort for you to accept it as a reality. They make no. It does. It's meant to be action porn. It's like totally badass. You know what I mean?
Right, over the top and on purpose.
Yeah, but totally on purpose. Not a bit too on the nose. Directly GPS guided to the center of the nose, but it's done intentionally, and that's the deal with it. Army of Darkness did it, where yeah,
it's
the cool thing, but it was done in such a way. It was done well. It can work. This did not. This was crap. Khaleesi was absolutely unbelievable as Sarah Connor at all. Terrible casting on their part.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
She's a good actress, but looks like she's fucking 19. And there's
Right.
no edge of her that looks hardcore. And if they would have taken her and, like, he found her and trained her for, like, 2 months maybe, but, like, a lifetime of being trained by a Terminator to be a badass, you don't have any more soft edges. It had all the hardness of a beach ball. It didn't work, Pete. It fucking fell. It was so bad, it was laughable. Like, you couldn't even just go, okay, I'm going to accept that.
Yeah, because she's... Yeah, that... She is badass as I Have Dragons, but that,
Well, that's different. She fits that. She's a child, and it shows her developing into a badass, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's this. You're just like, oh, here she is. Da-da. I'm like, no. I know what steak should taste like, and this is tofu.
Yeah.
This is fucking tofu. But
this was made with beans.
But I liked Arnold's character portrayal of the Terminator in the script in this movie a million times better than I liked him in Terminator 3. They didn't make him stupid.
Terminator.
That part was cool.
That was just bad.
He was the one cool part of that film. The one thing I don't complain about was Arnold's performance. He was more like Terminator.
In Terminator 3?
No, Terminator 2. That level of awesomeness. He hit it right on the head every time. So good for him. And you could tell in a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I saw online, he's really having a ball in the movie, getting everybody pumped up for it. The other actors and actresses and shit. And they're thrilled to be working with Arnold because he's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, yeah.
So, that was cool. Everything else was terrible. There's so much in it that makes no fucking sense. Matt Smith was in it for about a combined screen time of about 2 minutes. Broken up. He was in it.
Was he like a Time Lord just kind of passing through? Like,
no, that would have
sorry, wrong movie.
That would have brought sense and dignity to this film. Yeah, so he was in it. You'd have to combine all the screen time the same way I used to combine sleep when I was married on the schedule my ex-wife had me on. That level of it's 2 hours if you put it all together over the span of a week. It was wow. It's like, why? You didn't even have to use him. That's how inconsequential this performance was. So that was a big letdown. They go to blow up where Skynet's now in the operating system called Genesis, and it's worldwide. And and John Connor's there, but he's covered with some kind of liquid magnetic metal, fucking nanotech shit. It's just stupid. It's just pointless. And then they go and they're like, we're going to blow this up. And
because Iron Man, right?
Yeah, and John Connor's like, no, don't blow it up. And so you can't. This is a delicate server bank. So then they have a big fist fight where they're throwing each other through the server banks. And I'm like, why? You just said you can't. And then they set up explosives in one building, but all 12 buildings collapse in the explosion. And they have this time portal in there, which I'm like, okay. But they also have these pools of liquid metal stuff that they're like, well, we can make it assume form, but we can't get sentience into it yet. We're working on it. And I'm like, why would you have that in the chamber where you have this, which is ostensibly the time travel chamber? It was so stupid. And then the end was stupid. And it was just stupid. And at the very end, they had a stupid cliffhanger because they're going to make more stupid fucking movies. So it was stupid, Pete. It was just dumb. beyond imagine.
That is unfortunate.
I would like to make a movie about Arnold Schwarzenegger going back in time to stop himself from agreeing to be in this movie. What you doing? Don't go in this movie. It's terrible. You know?
Don't do it. Get out.
Come with me if you want to work. You know, get him out of there. You know, it's how bad is the movie? I have detailed files. You know, it's just awful. Then I went to go see recently Pixels.
Yeah.
Well, review of that is actually shorter. Pixels had some good. And
Okay.
it had some perplexingly bad.
And that's kind of what I would expect.
But it had a really cute concept. It was PG, and it pretty much stayed PG, which was perfect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not exactly aimed at us, but our kids.
What? See, that's the thing.
By our kids, I mean your kids.
There was enough jokes in it, the parts that were good. Let me clarify this. We're only talking about the good parts. There were enough parts in it that were good and things that were good in it that, as an adult with my kids, my 16-year-old, my 6-year-old, and myself, we all enjoyed the parts that were good. I was shocked. It had Adam Sandler in it, who I loved back in the day, but recently he's fallen off. He's just been involved in terrible projects.
I think he's out of ideas and stuff too.
Comedy ideas. I hear he's been doing some serious work that's been okay, but well, let's stick to the good. The good. It was a great idea, a terrific, ridiculous, almost Ghostbusters-esque level of interesting, unique idea. I mean, think about Ghostbusters. If someone told you, here's the thing, these guys, they catch ghosts. Like, if you've never heard of that, you'd be like, all right, whatever. But you plug these comedy people in, and it worked because it had a great writing, and the film was put together more than competently.
Yeah.
So there was actual hope that this might be kind of cool. There were parts that were cool. Kevin James and Adam Sandler and the other actor in it that I can't really remember right now. Josh Gad was in it. Peter Dinklage.
Yep.
Not Peter Dinklage, but Josh Gad. They were all together, and they were like childhood kind of friends, and they were at this video game competition in the 80s. And Peter Dinklage was this badass kind of teenager guy. In it, he was like the badass Donkey Kong guy.
Okay.
And he beat Adam Sandler's character. So Adam Sandler was like, oh, and it kind of fucked him up and fucked up his confidence. But his buddy ended up being president of the United States.
Oh, naturally.
Was a little bit of a stretch, but if they would have worked it smarter, it could have matched the tone of the film. Again, that could have worked.
Right.
Everyone's performances in it that were in it was kind of cool, except for Adam Sandler. He looked bored and tired.
Yeah, even in the trailers, he just doesn't look super into it.
Well, I can understand if he's playing a more subdued character, but there were scenes where it called for him. If he would have done his thing that he's done in Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, all the shit that worked, that energetic, that cool, funny vibration he had, that just made us all love him back in the day. If he would have just dug down deep and pulled it out for this movie, it could have probably excused a lot of the bad, dumb shit. He didn't at all.
Well,
not in a single scene, not in a single part of it.
Just real phoned in, huh?
As phoned in as possible.
That is unfortunate.
If he did the movie by Skype, you and I could have done it by Skype, and it could have been better. If they just put us saying his lines over top of him, it could have even excused his lackluster fucking performance.
Wow.
Which is a shame. I have a soft spot for him, even though his output has been awful.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's the other thing, too, like, just as an aside, because he's been more on the, like, production end of things, because a lot of these ones he, like, directs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
which is cool, nothing against that. But,
that is not, but that's, like, to direct and act isn't for everybody.
Yeah, but the movie, if he would have just jumped in with both feet, I think it could have saved it, and it could have been a good, almost great movie. Because just from his presence doing his thing.
Yeah.
But he totally didn't. I liked everybody else in it.
Totes didn't.
They did okay. Sean Bean was in it.
Nice. Did he keep his head on for this one?
Yes.
What the hell?
He actually didn't die. He didn't die in this, amazingly. He's died in every other movie I think he's been in except for Silent Hill.
I was just gonna say, he made it through Silent Hill, but spoiler alert, have you clicked off yet? All right, spoilers incoming. Everybody else is dead. Oh shit, dead wife and child.
Yeah. The reason I know this is because we were watching Hitler reacts to Ned Stark being killed. Ross showed it and then he's like, this guy, he dies in every fucking. He's the kiss of death for a fucking actor, and for a role, and I'm like, huh. And we saw, like, in the suggested other things to watch on YouTube, it was all of his death scenes. Dude, that motherfucker's been killed in like everything you could ever motherfucking imagine, dude. Holy shit. To see all of his death scenes strung together like that is hilarious. Look it up on YouTube.
I'll have to check that out. That does sound funny.
It's the fucking dive. You'll laugh so hard by the end. It's ridiculous because you're just watching him be killed over and over again. But you never realize that motherfucker dies a lot. So, but he didn't die remarkably. But the idea was cute behind it. I thought the special effects were pretty cool. The idea of all the pixelated things.
The effects look pretty rad.
Yeah.
I imagine, did you watch it in like 3D or anything?
No, just regular. Just regular. Because 3D kind of darkens the film a little bit with the glasses and shit.
True. Like, that might be one to go check out. See, that's the thing is, like, it would be one you'd want to check out in IMAX. Because that's like the real experience. But from what you're saying, it's like, I don't really want to spend the money on a meh movie for IMAX.
Your fucking money, dude. Don't waste your money. So that was the good. The bad was a lot of the jokes didn't work. They didn't have a lot of the stupid fart jokes, guy getting kicked in nuts jokes. They did a lot of that thing where he just likes, look, Kevin James, he's fat. He's a fat president, so let's have him eating cake and smearing his face because fat people are stupid and lazy. And I really hate that trope. It's kind of fucking offensive and beaten up. It can work if the character's like that, but I really hate seeing it being beaten
it's not like, I mean, there is no more Chris Farley. Stop it.
Yeah, but Chris Farley did it in a way that was funny. He didn't do it just to say, "All right, look, I'm fat and stupid." It's the character was like that.
Because the fat guy in a little coat worked for him.
Yeah, but it was funny. He did it with a certain panache, if you will. Which
I will, because I was going to say panache.
Yes, he was cheeky about it, and it wasn't offensive. But this kind of was. There was shit in it that was just didn't have to be there. It was dumb. There was plot conveniences that a fucking 6-year-old could have written a better reason for. So it was pretty fucking disappointing, and tragically disappointing because the idea behind it of they send this shit out into space as like a welcome wagon as an example of 80s culture.
Yep. Yeah, like
that was neat.
I don't know if they explained that in the trailer or if I just like heard of it on the internet somewhere, but I really cool premise. Like, very clever.
Another thing they did was, this alien race views it as a declaration of war, and it's more than just that. It's not like they're coming to invade the planet. They challenge Earth. You have 3 lives, so you have to fight 3 classic video games. The winner, if you win, 2, you have to obviously win 2. The best out of 3.
Right. I mean, Mortal Kombat rules, clearly.
Yeah. Again, keeping with the whole video game thing, was that was kind of cute. When they spoke to when they were talking to you and communicating to you, they communicated through 80s icons. So you had Fantasy Island, tattoo and shit, explaining to you how they're going to destroy your planet and shit. They had Madonna in an interview, 80s Madonna. That was really cool the way they did that. They had Max Headroom, which was really neat. Even though I think that was late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, it was late 80s.
It was just really cool the way they did that. It was just neat, and they didn't shit on it. They didn't do anything with the other. It's like someone had a neat idea for a movie, and then lackluster execution ruined it. I think.
Oh.
I know that was kind of disappointing, but that was Pixels. My last one, on a positive note, Pete.
Yes.
Was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which I have watched the majority of the first season.
Okay. I won't get beyond any. I won't have any spoilers, really, because there were some surprises. I have to say, the premise for this, when I heard about it, I was like, why would I want to watch a bunch of like eighth stringers?
Right, the non-superhero
Yeah.
like support team do anything.
And even when they have like heroes in it, they're not really heroes kind of thing.
Right.
Well, like the heroes like, Thor or Iron Man or, the ones you know about. So
TV
like,
show budget doesn't extend to any of those A-list actors.
Yeah, Sam Jackson's screen time was like 0.003 of a second, and it probably cost him $1
that was their
billion.
budget for that show.
Yeah. So I get that, but I have to admit, Pete, I really like this fucking series.
It's surprisingly not bad.
I really really like it. There was only one episode I thought was kind of dumb. It was the one, I don't know if I might be in the first season, might be in the second season, where one of the Asgardians escapes, and she can just her power is that she can just control men with her voice and shit like that.
I haven't seen that one, so it might be season 2.
So this badass warrior Asgardian chick has to show up and they fight. I thought that was kind of stupid. It wasn't like stupid, like pixel stupid. I just thought it was average. And when you have like a terrific series like that, average just to me
feels dumb.
Yeah, it feels dumb. So I'm trying to pick nits here. I'm trying to find something that's bad about it.
Well, I mean, that's even like because what I've seen of the first, like, because I've only watched up to through season 1 where they the bridge episode. And it's been a while since I've watched it too, so I might not be able to get much more. It's the title of it's something about a bridge, but they like this episode ends with some big fight because they're doing that whole like not Scorpion, that's the other show, but that they're chasing after those people. But like the sort of subplot with what happened to Agent Coulson is really well weaved in there. And
wow. I love the performances in this fucking thing.
It's good.
Dude, he fucking nails it, dude. Agent Coulson, I just can't learn enough about this fucking dude. That character is just, he's not just a hard ass. Like you see like little bits of his emotional life eking out here and there.
Yeah.
Which it just makes it so cool when like he will have an emotional. The comedy in it always works. And I didn't know. I didn't even. This is kind of embarrassing that I didn't know this, but it's a Josh Whedon project, and I didn't know that. I'm like, why does this feel so familiar and good?
Yep, he does the ensemble cast better than most anybody at the moment.
And I'm like, why does this feel so right? And now I know why. It's because he's like, this is what I wanted to do with the Marvel Avengers and all that shit, but I had to cram it into a movie. This is what if we could do a series with with those actors, but I can't because that would be prohibitively. It'd be more than I think the entire gross national product of Canada.
Yeah,
have those actors in it for a whole series like that.
That would be insane.
But in season 2, they do have some big name actors getting into it. You got to see Bill Paxton is in it in a pretty in a pretty major role, and he nails it. He's really good. You get to see, fuck, I can't believe I don't remember his name. Spock. I never forget his name. He played the Doctor in Deadwood. He played the possessed killer, Josh Veneman in Exorcist 3. He's been in a ton of different movies. He's really great, and I didn't write his name down because I knew I wasn't going to forget it, but I forgot it.
Yeah, I was going to say I got nothing offhand, but
he's in it. It's really cool. I love the story going on with the evil behind the scenes kind of aspect to it. It keeps you guessing. Plot twists aren't boring and predictable. You think a plot twist is coming, and you were totally fucking wrong. And you're like, oh, I am digging this. The effects are really good.
That stood out. Nothing seemed really cheesy there. Yeah. Everything seems pretty practical.
Movie quality effects in this fucking thing.
Well, I mean, being an Avengers spinoff, they have that Avengers money to use.
Yeah.
Not on the Avengers themselves, but at least on post-production.
But the way that they structured the storyline is such that you don't need them in there. This isn't
Yeah.
their story. This is the story around their story. So
And I like how how the episodes play off the events of the movies too, because like early on in the first season when they're talking about the cleanup from the
the aftermath.
aliens in the Thor movie and all that kind of stuff, and they're all like, "Ugh, these fucking superheroes and their bullshit."
That is cool as shit. I thought that was kind of cool. I really like the way it's done, Pete. While I was waiting for you to, I guess, eat something and set stuff up, I couldn't help myself. I started watching another episode. I'm like, I just got to see how this one ends real quick.
I needed some food, and then I had to catch myself because I started going down that YouTube rabbit hole of, but this video looks interesting. Then wait a second, I got a podcast to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I know. I've done that and then disappeared. Also, all right, Mark Lawrence. He's writing a new trilogy.
Oh, good.
He had he had Prince of Thorns, King of Thorns, Emperor of Thorns, which I absolutely adored every second of those books. They're fantastic. I've reread them all many, many times. He's got another one called The Red Queen's War trilogy. The first one was Prince of Fools, and the new one, which I was finally going to get a chance to read, was called The Liar's Key, and it's about Loki's key. And,
oh, nice.
And I really, really liked it. I have to admit, I liked Prince of Fools. I liked it. I'm not going to compare it to the Thorns.
The other trilogy,
because it happens in the same world, but it's its own story and everything.
Okay.
It has its own feel and everything. You can definitely hear his storytelling in it, which is obviously good because the storytelling is awesome.
Yes.
But this one, I'm so excited about the story right now. I want to read the next book so bad. I finally finished. I couldn't help myself. I got home. It's like 1 o'clock. I was like, I'll just read a little bit. So I haven't done this since I was like a fucking teenager, literally since I was 19. I just went into my bedroom, mainly because there's air conditioning in there. And threw myself on the bed.
That's a good reason.
Laid out on the bed, and I just read. I was like, I'm going to read for like an hour, and then I'll do 800 things that I have to do. And next thing I knew, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, holy shit. It's that fucking good. Liar's Key. Check it out. I accidentally bought 3 of them. So, Pete, I'm going to grab you Prince of Fools. And next time I see you, I'm going to give you them as a gift.
Nice.
Because as I actually I sent him a heads up on Facebook. I said, I accidentally clicked the button furiously in my righteous indignation and techno-tardancy. And I said, but here in New Jersey, a lot of places would just send them back for their money back. But here in New Jersey, here's what we do. I was like, we re-gift them to people who like it. So he was like, awesome solution. So big ups to that terrific series. Still chugging along. Dude, the way it ended, the last page had me fucking just glowing. I was like, yes, I love the way this ends.
Cool. Now I'm excited about it.
Big surprise at the end, too. It's like one of those, like, whoa, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, you cheeky rascal. You fucking bastard. Mark, you son of a bitch. You did it again. You beautiful son of a bitch. I was like,
yeah.
About Rommel. You marvelous bastard. So.
That's good. Have I? Oh, no, I think I have. I've talked about Mr. Robot on this show before, haven't I?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We covered that. Awesome. And if you don't have anything else mixed media related?
I think we can move on into the new bit of silliness that we have lying around.
I kept calling it 50 States of Gay.
Yes.
50 Shades of Gay.
Oh,
that was 50 Shades of Retarded of me to call it 50 States of Gay. It's 50 Shades of Gay.
Well, if you take states to mean like more of states of being, then on a map, it could work too.
A poorly drawn map. Yes. Because that's what her awful book is. Here's our little brief synopsis here. E.L. James is the author of the awful 50 Shades of Grey. Recently her publicist, who must have never actually been to the internet or used Twitter, thought it would be a good idea for her to hold an Ask Me
AMA.
Anything session on Twitter. And yes, things went exactly as you think they.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought Twitter also was like the ideal venue for an AMA. Like, fucking Reddit, people. Come on now.
But yeah, so a few fun facts about her. She did fanfic before this about Twilight.
Well, that's what it is, but
yes.
yeah.
Bit off of the author of Twilight a lot, and Twilight is just total dren. It's crap. So for anything to be a diluted version of that crap, she diluted the crap with diarrhea. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's like eating at KFC.
Just go online and type in examples of E.L. James bad writing, 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, just the way it's constructed is awful. It's just it's really bad. Also, she totally stalked the author of Twilight so much that she had to get a restraining order on her.
Wow.
Yes. And the reason I mention all this stuff is because, well, you're going to hear all about it. Because the internet does what this youngest of the American gods always does. Bless its technological soul. So let's jump into this, shall we?
Good job, internet. Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay.
Because I actually didn't know this was a thing until you said, oh my goodness, the internet has done it again.
Oh, dude, it's fucking hilarious. The first one, did you expect your books to be so successful? Hyphen. At putting feminist advancement in field of sexual violence back a few decades. Dost know what we used to call a ruthless paddling on the bum by some cruel aloof wanker? Latin class. E.L. James blocks anyone who calls her out about the abusive content of her books. If only real victims of abuse could do that. Here's some more. Will you ever be publishing an English language version of 50 Shades? Some poor PR person is about to get sacked this morning for Ask E.L. James.
Yep.
How does it feel that now that you've taught young girls around the world that abuse, stalking, and harassment are romantic? How does it feel? Sorry, I read that one twice. Ask E.L. James will go down in history as the first. No, Ask E.L. James will go down in history as the first crowdsourced roast. Oh my god,
that's great because it's true.
I put these in order of funniness to make like a little tone to it. It gets better.
Yeah, well, I would expect no less.
If I could ask E.L. James something, it would be the name of the person who told her she could write, because that person should be shot. I just realized that Ask E.L. James is not about C.L.R. James, the Trinidadian Marxist cricket player who died in 1989.
That's fucking brilliant. I love the internet.
The best. Someone did a little bit of research for that one. Good on you.
Yeah, because, or even better, maybe that person just had that lying around and like, oh, I know a fact. This is perfect.
I'm going to wait till this dumb bitch does some shit on Twitter. What do you dislike more, independent, strong women or the English language? Irony. Watching E.L. James get a nasty spanking from a harmless hashtag.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe when all the fuss dies down on Twitter, Fox will offer E.L. James her own TV show. Are you a better writer than a fifth grader? So, to you, Ramsay Bolton would be a Game of Thrones misunderstood romantic hero, right? A tortured soul that just needs love. After the success of Grey, have you considered retelling the story from the perspective of someone who can write?
That's awesome.
Oh, God. Did her inner goddess cry so hard she had to scream, "Holy cow, dang it," really loudly? That was one of the quotes that one of the female lead said in her terrible book.
Aha.
Yes.
Yes.
Some
That
of these
great
are.
writing strikes again.
The only reason I know about this is because I went first to the site where one of the many sites where they talk about her terrible writing and the shit she puts in it. Step 1, click this. Ask E.L. James. Step 2, read through the tweets. Step 3, be reminded of why Twitter can be awesome. E.L. James has had enough abuse thrown at her tonight to produce at least 5 more novels with her as the main character. Which do you hate more? 1, consent. 2, the English language. 3, strong, independent women. 4, all of the above. Oh, that moment when Ask E.L. James hashtag is way more interesting than her books. Today, E.L. James learned the valuable lesson that, quote, a lot of people bought my work, end quote, is not the same as, quote, everyone likes me, end quote.
Yeah.
Another one, how can one woman ruin sexy talk so badly? Let's see. Jon Snow at Lord Snow. So people like made their own hashtags.
Right.
You know nothing, E.L. James. Ask E.L. James. Ask E.L. James, are you aware that eyebrows can't actually do this, quote, his eyebrows widened in surprise, end quote? Yes, that was in her books. His eyebrows widened in surprise.
Wow.
Do you know 15-year-olds can write fanfics with healthy relationships in your book? Another one. If a big part of an author's day is blocking abuse survivors, maybe it's the author who should be asking herself some questions. What's your favorite shade out of the 50? Is there a chance that more shades will be added? This next one. Does the EL... Does the EL in E.L. James stand for EL literate? Hold on, I gotta catch my breath. I'm doing that thing where I get lightheaded. Breathe, Carl, breathe. How could E.L. James not have known that Ask E.L. James would turn into at least 50 Shades of Shade? Come on, lady. Is there a safe word that will stop you from writing any more of this bollocks? I love it when British people get saucy. Do all of these...
Yeah, they have some fun words for things.
Bollocks. Do all of these negative tweets sent to you seem abusive to you? I think it's romantic enough to be turned into a novel. What's it like, E.L. James, telling millions of women it's okay to be in an abusive relationship as long as he's rich?
Yup.
That's basically what this said. Did you know how to read when you wrote 50 Shades of Grey? Are you getting tendonitis from having to hit block so often? Because apparently she was blocking like people, well, all of these people.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work. They just turned around, created a new account, and then blasted her again.
Well, yeah, that's...
My boss said no when I asked if I could kiss him. And then I did anyway, because no means yes, right? Things at work are awkward. Are you aware that aside from all the concerns about rape and abuse, your novels are some of the worst garbage ever written? I like how they dismiss that important thing just to get to the real problem, which is your work. Your novels are the worst
sheer
garbage
poor
ever
quality of the writing, yeah.
I see people complaining about the Ask E.L. James tweets being rude or hating, but all I see are truth bombs and a sea of truth pudding. I love lead speak.
Truth pudding. That sounds delicious and educational.
Yes. Smear it everywhere. It's okay. I can't believe they made her eat the whole thing. Oh, shit. Where was I?
Truth pudding.
Did you see the abusive relationship of Bella and Edward and think, needs more abuse? Nice double whammy there. How much can Christian Grey lift? Can he do 6 skateboard moves? When is he going to prison? I like the way they snuck that in here. Whoever planned out the Ask E.L. James tag has never, ever met Twitter.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah. Is it only okay for Christian to stalk, coerce, threaten, and manipulate Anna because he's hot? Or is it also okay because he's rich? Block that. What's the minimum distance you have to stay away from Stephanie Meyer at all times? Shot to the heart, and you're too late. Nice one. Are you going to answer any of these questions, or do you need Stephanie Meyer to do a Twitter check first?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Bravo on that one.
She needs to have a fanfic.
Yeah.
Stephanie Meyer AMA.
Oh my God, I'm gonna do one about that. Why not?
Yeah, hey, might as well.
Well, shit, maybe they'll make a shitty movie about it.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, we'd be rich, and we'd be able to make fun of ourselves.
The two best things ever.
And make fun of E.L. James. Okay. I got the hiccups. now. What's the minimum distance you have to stay away from Stephanie Meyer at all times? Oh, shit.
Yeah, we've been there, but that's okay.
All right. Do you intend to mold your body with Stephanie Meyer or just make a suit out of her skin? I like they did the Human Centipede and then went for the classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, bravo. Dude, if I was there, even if I was a publicist, knowing I was going to get fucking fired, I'd still be laughing like a fucking loon.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Are you going to take a cold bath later to recover from being so thoroughly burned on Twitter today? Everyone is focused on the abusive aspect of your books, but have you ever considered that you're just a god-awful writer? All right. Were you watching Dexter when you wrote this?
Shit.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, nothing. I'm good. I'm good. Everything's fine. We're all fine here.
I didn't just set myself on fire.
Nope. I'm just going to go over this way and...
Uh-oh, is there someone in the apartment with you? Hide under the bed.
Well, I mean,
let them take
yeah,
it.
but it's, not the roommate, so it's fine.
Okay, cool. Were you watching Dexter when you wrote the scene where Christian buys stuff at the hardware store Anna works at? If you see nothing wrong with monetizing fan fiction, why did you change the names from Bella to Anna and Edward to Christian? And have you financially compensated Stephanie Myers for monetizing your fan fiction using her characters? If Christian and Anna were invited to a Halloween costume party, would they go as Edward and Bella from Twilight? Does it bother you that everyone knows you've never had an original story idea in your life? All right. This is a nice one. For hashtag Ask EL James, I recommend we should all send questions written in the third person, then the same ones again from a different point of view, because she wrote that book called Gray, which is the same story but from Christian Gray's point of view.
Yeah. It was only one book instead of three or whatever.
Will you be rewriting the book from Stephanie Meyer's point of view next time? Oh, yeah. I saved that good one for last.
That's a good one.
Oh, fuck.
Thank you, Twitter.
Yes. Yes, internet, via your new child Twitter. Not really new, but new compared to the internet. You've done it again. All of Twitter's offspring, all of the internet's offspring are wonderful, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
They're so vibrant and reckless and sarcastic and used equally for. They transcend good or evil. They just happen.
They just are.
They're like the Joker. I don't have a plan. I'm just a dog chasing cars. What if I got it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. My soul feels so much better now.
Well, good. That is an important thing.
Now we just need to have. I got to find one with Stephanie Myers about Twilight because Twilight's so awful. I didn't think they could outdo the awful in Twilight ever and have it still be a book. Not like you just pick up a book-like thing with used toilet paper, just pressed together like pages.
Yeah.
but they did it.
Magically.
They really, really did it. And I'm not hating on all fan fiction. I mean, I think it's really cool that someone gets so pumped up about an original body of work that they want to run around and play in that universe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it at all.
And as I understand it, a lot of, before it was even called fanfic, but a lot of writers who went on to do work for example, in the Star Trek universe, for Star Trek Enterprise, Deep Space Nine, that sort of thing, they got their start. They would send in things that they wrote that were fan fiction that they had, and they would send it in as an example of what they could do, and some of them were later contracted on and actually
that's
wrote
pretty
scripts. Cool. You know what I mean? So that's an example of somebody who has an artistic expression, which kind of just broadens the universe a little bit, a creative universe. Like I think the original where that originally happened was with H.P. Lovecraft. His Cthulhu mythos that he created.
Yeah.
He actually encouraged other writers, another writer friend of his, and he got together and encouraged horror writers
to use that universe.
To use that universe and
nice.
And to write in it, and he did everything he could to help them get published with their works. And H.P. Lovecraft was, in his time, a niche writer. I mean, we talk about him now because he's H.P. fucking Lovecraft.
Right.
But he died not entirely penniless, but I mean, on a serious budget. And
yeah.
And he died without the appreciation that this incredible universe, that this unique, incredible private individual brought to us. And it's influenced not just so many horror authors, but movies, art,
all kinds of media,
video games. Dude, Metallica wrote songs, the thing that should not be.
Yep.
Which and they're not the only one. That's
Call of Cthulhu.
Yes, it's off the top of my head, but there's been plenty other artists through a whole host of different mediums that have played in that universe, that very unique universe. And an interesting side note, it's still in development hell. But the one story of his called At the Mountains of Madness, which it was extraordinarily loosely based on, but John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
The idea of they find crashed alien Antarctica, chaos ensues sort of thing.
Right.
Well, very, very loosely based upon At the Mountains of Madness, this story. which if you ever get a chance to read it, I recommend it. You don't have to read any of his other books to get it. That's the wonderful thing about his books. You can either read all of his stories separately, you can read them all together. They all fit together, or they stand on their own.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, enormously clever fellow. It's hard to do that with a lot of other great writers. You can't just jump in on book 5,
right,
and just be like, or just read book 5 and be cool with it. Shit, But At the Mountains of Madness has been stuck in movie development hell for some time. What's his name? God, I can't believe I don't remember the director's name. He did the second Hellboy.
Nope, don't remember offhand.
I know, tired brain not working. My brain keeps saying Benicio del Toro. I'm like, no, dude, that's an actor. And you didn't say his name.
Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you. At least more of your brain's still working than mine.
I just needed something.
Just a taste. I know that flavor. But he was on board to direct, and they've been pushing for it to. It's in what's called development hell, because anything that's unique and wonderful, Hollywood's no!
Right, because there's no way they can Hollywoodify it.
But there was serious talk about getting Johnny Depp on board, and he is...
Yeah, he's weird enough for that.
The main character of the professor, is a professor of archaeology that goes on to Antarctica with a whole expedition. I believe it's set in like the 20s or maybe the late 20s.
Sounds about right.
But he would totally nail. He's great, and I think he'd be perfect for the role. But it's been moving forward in development hell. So if they make this before I die, it would just be the trifecta of awesome. Game of Thrones, Mountains of Madness, and Star Wars being done properly. I could just be like, all right, I've seen them, and if I die now, my soul will be assumed into heaven peacefully. 'Cause I'll be a happy motherfucker if that happens. But yeah, so
That would be cool. That sounds pretty rad.
That's a good way to end a podcast on a positive, jazzed up note,
Yeah.
if you will.
And I will.
We learned a lot today, Pete.
Yep.
I
Many
knew this was
an important thing.
I knew this would be a big episode, by the way, for our fans who are like, no weird news. I knew this was going to be a big episode with a decent size What's New. We had a new segment, and I didn't want to go too far over. I knew we get a late start, but I promise you, next week there will be some serious weird newsage. Maybe even we'll just do a whole weird news segment.
Yeah.
The weirdest of the weird news, Pete.
That's true. We only get the best of the weird. That's kind of our jam. It's our thing. It's what we do. It's our bread and butter. But every now and then we want some jelly up on that.
Yeah, you gotta mix it up a little bit. You're with the same girl for a while and you want to do something crazy, so you're at a party and you fuck her in the guest bedroom when anybody could just come in, and it's kind of exciting. It's the same pussy, it's the same dick, but it's exciting because it's in a different room.
Yeah, the location and circumstances are
and
switched up or something.
We're almost as naked as that couple would be right now,
Kinda, yeah.
in our respective halved studio zones. But yeah, we learned a lot of exciting stuff today. We learned that lots of televisions unloading in the scorching heat of the sun is not fun, but can be made fun. We learned that Pete kissed the girl. Pete kissed the girl.
That's all right. I kissed a girl, and I liked it.
Yeah, and I'm totally pumped up about that, man. Good for you, man. I hope there's more positive updates, and I'm excited about that.
Yep. I talked to her a little bit today about the show. I was like, look, so, I do the show thing. Just going to let you know, kind of just talk about all sorts of whatever. So if there's ever anything you don't want the internet to hear, just let me know. Otherwise, ask shit.
I won't mention anything or bring anything up that's on that list. I'm pretty good in that regard.
Yeah, I mean,
you wouldn't guess it listening to us, but surprisingly, there's a lot we hold back.
Believe it or not, there are some things we edit out for the sake of like somebody's feelings.
Like I could probably do a 16-month nonstop stand-up comedy routine based on my failed marriage and subsequent divorce alone. But
right.
Some stuff you got to have a tiny bit of class. And okay, I don't have class, but that's just not this kind of show. So
right, that's not what
we keep it positive and uplifting.
Yes.
But so we learned that Pixels not so good. Terminator Benny Hillisis mostly very bad. Hopefully they'll put Matt Smith in something that Matt Smith's in the future, because I'd like to see him get more work.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. Like, he was in it for a total of 2 minutes, about broken up. One of those minutes was a really poorly pixelated hologram of him. So it was really
that's
just his
unfortunate.
voice. It's almost like they were like, no, we don't want anything in this work that won't really suck. And you're too good, so we've got to... You got to dumb it down a bit.
Just go over there in the corner, and we'll just edit you in digitally.
Yeah. We learned Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is awesome. I strongly urge everyone to watch it. Pete, watch Fringe. Damn it, it's on Netflix. In fact,
I'll get there.
As you fall asleep tonight, do me the favor. Watch the first episode. It'll only be like 40 minutes long because there's no commercials. Yay!
All right.
But
okay.
if you just put it on, even if you fall asleep to half it, you won't, because like reading a good book or a good video game, you're going to watch the whole damn thing. But I urge you to watch the first episode and tell me what you think for the next show, because I would be interested to hear your take on it, because a lot of the physics is actually grounded in real physics and real, like, fringe physics.
Yeah,
which is exciting.
I've heard the things.
It's
What the hell?
It's neat. Are you there, Pete? Is someone in
Yeah.
the room with you?
No, I'm here.
Get
What?
under the bed, Pete.
Hello?
This is the hard part, Pete. You're gonna have
Are we
to
there?
be taken.
What?
You're there?
Ah, crap. Again? Every time.
Yes. Yeah. So that's how we end a season 5 podcast.
Woo!
Me beating a dead joke to death.
Yes.
Which brings us to you've been listening to That's Life.
Woo!
Baby Boy Production, episode number 115.
Oh, I'm glad you said it because I forgot already.
We're getting long in the ear here. And thank you so much for listening. You can listen to many of the episodes, Pete,
For free.
at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/That's Life Podcast. That's youtube.com/That's Life Podcast. To listen to or download any of the season 1 and season 2 episodes. Also, Pete,
For free.
check us out at that'slifepodcast.com. Now, be sure to subscribe, and Pete,
Subscribe. I'll get it right on purpose today.
for instant I was almost going to say subscriber-oni. For instant notification via
Subscriber-oni.
email. It's great on pizza. Whenever new episodes are posted. Pete, tell them about our super awesome HepCat Facebook page.
Oh, snap. Boy, do we have a Facebook page for you. And let me tell you, if you go over to www.facebook.com/that'slifepodcast, you can get all kinds of crazy awesomeness posted directly to your feed. Not only do you get updates when we do new episodes or recording new episodes and post new episodes, but you get crazy random memes and other funny updates as well. So go over to www.facebook.com/that'slifepodcast to give us a like and a thumbs up and a share and do all the good socials.
And if you've enjoyed what you just heard,
Because I know I have.
be sure to tell a friend, neighbor, or coworker and help us to spread the laughter as far as we can.
So from all of us here at That's Life Podcast, this has been Pete.
And Carl bidding you an adieu, and a disappointing Terminator adieu.
Oh, I was going to give him a 50 Shades of Don't Do Dumb Shit on Twitter ado.
That works too. And hashtag Pete kissed a girl, Pete kissed a girl, Pete
Oh,
kissed a
yeah.